Welcome to episode 48 of Two Guys, Zero Planners. Editing me is probably leaving that hiccup in. And, yeah. How you doing, Urban?
Doing good. So, we were actually pretty good at recording episode 48 a while ago. But then somehow some of the audio, I don't know, went for a walk and didn't come back. I don't know.
There's no somehow about it. It's called I accidentally hit the delete button on the wrong files and didn't realize it until it was too late.
Yeah, I mean, compared to files I have deleted, that's actually fine. I managed to delete the videos from my wedding. Luckily, my father-in-law had them somewhere, and we got them back that way. But yeah.
Oof. Wow. That's rough.
I'm still hearing about it, and it's been like, I don't know how many years.
I think that's one of those things of marriage. As the longer you stay married, the more often the small funny things stay around.
And it's by now 12 years. So
that is priceless. That is priceless.
Yeah.
Just wait till it's been 30 years and you're still hearing about it.
When I was young, there were still computers and hard drives, and you could delete stuff.
This was before the iPhone that they actually stuck in your eye.
I mean, this was literally before the iPhone, I would say. Was it? Probably. I don't know.
I think
Sony camcorder type.
Now I have to check. Yeah. Oh, I got new key switches for my keyboard. Wow, June 29th, 2007. Is that real? Is that... No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's when the first iPhone came out.
Okay, so it could have been the iPhone. All right.
Wow, the iPhone is younger than my relationship with my Sweetwater sales rep. Which I'm actually getting ready to spend more money with him today because my computer made me angry again.
Did it delete files again?
No, I have to use a stupid program called Voice Meter Banana to do my audio routing.
Nice name.
Yeah, I know. And it's free software. Well, it's donationware. So I shouldn't complain too hard, but it is so damn buggy. Like, you feel you need to just set a can of Raid down on your desk just to use your computer. It's that bad. So, like, all of my audio just completely crashed out last night a good 30 or 40 times. So I'm just buying a hardware solution from PreSonus. That way I've got a dedicated piece of hardware that's doing my audio routing. And no, Michael, it's not a mixer. It's not a board. It doesn't have faders. It has knobs, but no faders. I'm not buying a mixer yet. So quit thinking you've won this one, because you haven't.
Not yet.
The bad thing is he's coming really close, because there is a mixer that I really want to buy, but I don't want to give him a win. No, that's a horrible reason for not buying a piece of gear. It's a good piece of gear. It'll do everything you need it to. But will it give Michael a win? Yes. Well, then I can't buy it. Doesn't matter how good it is. Cannot buy it.
Good reason.
Yeah, so that's what's going on there. Oh, and the video stuff. Remember that piece of software that I bought that I had to get a refund on? That we talked about in the episode that didn't come out?
No.
Oh. Well, it's down there in the highlighted portion of Yvgenii's busy day. So the renter's insurance thing turned into them quoting themselves incorrectly to me, which led to me sending a 2.5-page email to them, telling them they were wrong, to which they never responded, and they upheld the charge. So that's how that went. But they didn't charge me again for renter's insurance. So they finally realized I do have third-party insurance. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's the refilming of Colorverse Photon went okay. After I refilmed the A-roll, that went fine. And they finally fixed the video software to encode the ProRes RAW down to ProRes, so I can finally film in 5.9K to downscale to 4K. So I ended up buying the software again.
So you can film in 2 big to make it almost too big.
Yes, exactly. By the same token, though, if you look at the writing sample in the iridescent pearl video, like how it changes angles and stuff, because I'm filming in 6K, that's literally me punching in and zooming a little and then rotating the entire frame after the fact.
Okay, so you'll have a lot more freedom there, I guess.
A lot more freedom. I mean, you've got 2,000 pixels in one direction and 1,400 pixels in another. That gives you plenty of leeway to play with. All that for pens. All that for pens.
And for fun, I guess.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I am enjoying my new Lamy 2000 with a double broad nib. I think it took the double broad nib for me to finally like it.
Yeah, I'm also gravitating to wider and wider nibs these days. So also yesterday got one of the Kaweco Sports with a double broad nib. And yeah, it's okay. Could be wider.
Now, is your Kaweco also the iridescent pearl, or is it just one of the regular ones?
So it's not the iridescent pearl. I'm not a fan of that type of color. I got probably the previous one, the olive green Kaweco collection pen.
Oh, okay.
Because obviously it's dark green, and I had to get it.
I almost got that one. But I think I've got a Kaweco problem.
Yeah, it's very easy to keep buying them, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot easier to not buy things like the Lilliput because, well, they're really expensive for such a tiny pen. But the AL Sports and the regular Sports are just so affordable.
Yeah, that's true. Like 20 euros for one of the plastic Sports. And yeah, I have now two of the plastic ones, one AL Sport and the brass one. I guess I still need the steel one.
Yeah, I've got 5 of the plastic Sports, 1 AL Sport, and 1 Lilliput. And I was looking it over, and the smallest nib I have in those is a broad. Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it seems to be a kind of a progression you go through when you start with fountain pens. Like a lot of people, me including, started with really fine ones, like getting into extra fines and ultra extra fine and stuff like that. And then as time goes by, it's getting broader and broader and wetter and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've also noticed that with like my choice in papers. When I first started, I was all about the Moleskine stuff, even though everyone said it was trash. Then I realized everyone was right and it really was trash. And then it's like I did the Rhodia thing for a while, then I did the Leuchtturm thing for a while, then back to the Rhodia thing. And I avoided bank paper and Tomoe for such a long time because I thought they were hipster papers. It's like, I'm okay having pens, but I don't want to be a hipster. And then I finally switched over to Tomoe and I'm like, oh my God, this is what I've been missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that it's sort of a really good paper, and basically every pen that's not really horribly broken actually writes on it for some reason. And it's not like Rhodia where you can have some kind of nib ink combination where sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, I think we actually saw that on Colorverse Spirit. I actually had to call that out during the video, how that one ink for some reason really reacts negatively to oils from your hand. Like I was noticing that during the writing samples that the ink was actually skipping on spots where my hand had been sitting for just a little too long.
Yeah. And do you think that's worse on Rhodia or Tomoe River? They seem kind of equal to me. Pretty bad, both.
I mean, the writing sample makes them look pretty equal, but what I probably should have put in a disclaimer at the bottom is that for the Rhodia sample that actually made it onto camera, I finally caved in and put a towel under my hand.
Yeah.
So there's spots on that sample that look bad, but it doesn't look as bad as it could have because I actually put a towel down.
I mean, I've started using a what's it called? What's that? Oh, now I can't remember the name. What's that piece of paper you use to soak up the ink?
Blotter paper.
Piece of blotter paper basically everywhere, because on Tomoe River and maybe a bit less so on Rhodia, otherwise it happens with most inks, at least to me. It just doesn't look nice anymore with all the spots where it doesn't work.
I caved in and ordered 2 more of those calligrapher gloves, the ones that only have the 2 fingers. Those tend to work better than the blotter paper. I keep losing the blotter paper after a while.
Yeah, I have basically, I don't know, you can buy a blotter paper basically as a pad here. So I just have enough for a few years now.
I mean, logically, I would do something like that and just buy it in bulk, but that would require logic, and you and I both know how that goes with me.
Yeah, I don't know. By now, that's become sort of second nature to me to always have a piece of blotter paper and sort of rest my hand on that. And I guess that's also why I don't have a big issue with Cosmo Air paper.
I still haven't tried any of that.
Yeah, I mean, what they say is true. It is surprising how much broader nibs get on that paper. So the difference is really noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually like it. So I don't know, your broad becomes a double broad and your zoom nib becomes really wide and stuff like that. And there is a different feel on the paper. It's more like there's some kind of texture happening, and some people don't like it. I actually enjoy it because you can actually, it's not as smooth as, I mean, definitely not as smooth as Rhodia, but also not as smooth as Tomoe River. And I guess the hand oils thing is, I'm not sure if it's worse than Tomoe River.
Right.
But I don't know, I use something under my hand, so I didn't really notice it. And it's nice, at least compared to Tomoe River, that's a thicker paper. Because that's also the thing I'm not super happy about the 52 GSM one, because it is really thin.
I don't know. I think I like the 52 GSM for the thinness. I think you and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum there. I also like, I am one of those people that likes a very smooth paper. It's one of the reasons I really didn't get into bank paper as much as I probably should have. It was just a little too textured for me. It was great paper. It was just too textured.
Yeah, that's true. There's more there. Yeah.
There was a lot more tooth to it. And maybe if I had given it more of a chance, I would have come around to it. Maybe if I do give it another chance in the future, I'll come around to it. Now that my nib choice is no longer on the thinner side of life. But yeah, at the time, it was a little too toothy for me. And I think that's what really gravitated me towards Tomoe. It's one of those things that I talk about quite a bit when I'm talking about a nib in my videos. How much does it glide across the page? Is it squeaky gliding, or is it super smooth? Is there some tooth to it? And it's a lot more easy to notice if it's the nib that's causing some scratchiness when you've got a super smooth paper underneath you.
Yeah. Although with Rhodia, sometimes you don't really know what's happening, right? Because there's some combination that just don't work. I found.
So if I have a pen that feels like it's misbehaving on Rhodia, I'll pop it over to Tomoe really quick just to do a sanity check. And if it's doing it on both, then it's like, okay, it's a problem with the pen and not the paper on this one.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of Tomoe River, in that sense, definitely is the gold standard, because
at least for me,
not the paper. Yeah, that's what I noticed as well. Yeah.
I think it comes down to what you've calibrated your brain for, and for me, I've definitely calibrated for Tomoe. So I sent you a picture in Slack. Those are my keeper pens so far.
Yeah. The Twisby VAC 700s. Yeah, I just don't like that. That's a weird looking pen. I can't. It's sort of, number one, I'm not a fan of this. So you have the iris. So this is like this rainbow of colors, which I'm...
Right.
I don't know. That's also why I didn't get the Kaweco. That's sort of the same direction. But sort of this pen is, I don't know, I find it weird looking, and it's sort of, I like the idea of vac fillers. I have some as well, but somehow it's sort of a hodgepodge of design features put together, and I don't like it.
Well, I bought that pen secondhand with the original box and everything, with the full intention of doing a review on it. That was over a year ago now, and there's still no review on it. I've bought plenty of other things to review since then.
I see.
Yeah, honestly, that pen, I'm probably going to end up giving it away, realistically, or reselling it, one of the two. I don't like it. Like, I'm okay with the iridescent pearl, but that TWSBI just does not get any love from my writing regime at all.
Yeah, and you don't even have that many pens, if that's all on your list.
Yeah, no, those are the only ones I actually have in the pen case. And I would say, if I had to pick my two least favorite pens out of my collection that are on the chopping block right now, it's the VAC 700 and the VAC 700. I literally write with every other pen and enjoy every other pen in my collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to think, is there another pen in my collection that I don't like? And no, I literally like them all and write with them all. And it's just
for the listeners, it's like 21 pens only, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
That you can't find more than one.
There's 20 in the case and one on the desk. The Lilliput has officially become my ink testing pen. That way I've just got one pen that I'm doing all of my ink reviews with. I narrowed it down to one nib, which is why I've got all those Kavekos with broad nibs.
Yeah.
But I've decided the Lilliput, and the reason for it is actually kind of funny. That became my test pen because it doesn't fit in the pen case. But I still like it, and I like using it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a valid reason, and I can see how it would be a good idea to standardize on the pen and sort of the specific pen or nib, and also on the paper. And then it's just, you can see if the ink is wet to dry or if there are issues, and it's the ink and not any of the others.
Exactly.
The other things, yeah.
And I mean, I have regular sized hands, unlike you, Phil. So I can use the smaller pen and just post it, and it feels fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that in the last episode, I think we talk about the green. No, it probably wasn't out yet. Sort of, there's now this green special edition of the Lilliput, and I really was considering it. But then I remembered I don't like screw to post pens. And sort of the Sport is great because it's really quick to use. You open the pen, it's like, I think, one turn or something, and you post the cap and you're done. And with the Lilliput, you unscrew, and then you have to screw it back on, and it's like a whole thing. And then I decided to just get a Kaweco Sport instead.
Oh, that green looks so nice, though. You got me looking at it again.
It does, yeah.
I mean, normally I'm not a fan of lime green, but that one speaks to me for some reason. Okay, I should not be on Pen Chalet's website. This is dangerous. Oh.
I mean, you already have the ultimate Kaweco Lilliput anyway, right?
Right. Oh, the dark olive. They've got it. And how does that look in person?
I mean, it looks like it sounds. I don't know. It's dark olive. It's olive green. Definitely.
I mean, does it
really
look
dark.
like I want it in a martini?
Well, I don't like olives, so I wouldn't want an olive in my martini. So, but it's much darker.
Okay.
It really is a dark green.
Okay. Here's a question for you. How many Kaweco pen reviews is too many Kaweco pen reviews?
I mean, depends on which YouTube channel you are. Maybe for you, there's a limit. For that Portuguese guy, there isn't. Let me find the channel.
Well, I mean, do you think I could get a good click-through rate if I did just a different colorway of a Kaweco pen? Or because I've done a Kaweco Sport, is that kind of the end-all be-all for that?
I mean, I guess it depends on how often you do it. I mean, it's a new color. Why not once in a while do one? I mean,
right. That is true. I just heard some things come through. Oh, you gave me a link.
Yes, I'm not even trying to pronounce the Portuguese channel name, but he has all the Cavecos in a sense.
Oh my, he has all the Cavecos.
And by now, Caveco is actually sending them to him. So now he really has all of them.
Wow.
There's some videos where he shows the whole collection or something.
What is his oldest video? 6 years ago. Wow. Yeah, he's been in the game a while.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me go to my playlist really quick. All pens. Caveco Lilliput. Caveco Ale Sport Golden Espresso. Those are the only 2 Cavecos I've done. Oh, no. Okay, Caveco Art Sport. I did the Art Sport a while back.
Yeah.
So I will have 4 Cavecos. You know, I still have that Royal Red Caveco that I need to do a review on, because it's not really a special edition, but it is a special edition. And oh my goodness, yes, I'm looking at this guy's videos from 5 and 4 years ago. Wow, that's a lot of Caveco.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, this guy's doing it right, and maybe I have to steal what he's doing. A lot of his early reviews are budget pens that are easy to afford when you don't have companies sending you stuff. And here I am buying the Mickeys.
I mean, I don't know. Depends on what you want to do, right?
Well, I mean, if pens were my only expensive hobby, sure, but I've got pens, I've got cameras, I've got computers. Oh my goodness. Okay, I am closing out of your playlist, good sir, whose channel I will not try to pronounce because I will butcher it. But it will be in the show notes. Urban will make sure it gets in the show notes.
Yes. There's only one channel, so I can't really make a mistake there.
Well,
but yeah, exactly. He's done a lot of Caveco, and he has also done a lot of the Chinese pens, basically, which are on the cheaper side in general.
Wow. Okay. All right. So it looks like I may be doing more Caveco videos in the future, since I just realized I should not feel bad about occasionally buying a cheap fountain pen just to show off a cool colorway.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of and you're hearing it live, folks. You're hearing me break an unwritten rule that I had for a long time now. That I could only review one of that body style.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, who's gonna know, right?
True.
If you don't do it one day and the next day it's the next Caveco Sport, then...
With how crazy I am with color accuracy and everything, who knows? Maybe the way I see it is going to be different than the way it's been shown by other reviewers. Yeah, I finally... There's a difference between filming in regular ProRes and then filming in ProRes RAW in how the camera sensor outputs color. So the first time I actually got ProRes RAW working, I had to spend 8 hours redoing my color correction. It's still color accurate. Like, I have a test scene of a whole bunch of Colorverse bottles, that Royal Red Caveco, and a whole bunch of my other pens, along with a color checker video chart. And I have a test scene that those have to be spot on accurate with each other in order for me to know, okay, what I'm seeing on camera is what I'm seeing with my own eyes. It took 8 hours to get the ProRes RAW to look like the ProRes.
Yeah, that reminds me of, I don't know, scanning color film and trying to get the colors right. And that's what was one of the reasons why I gave that up, because it's so annoying.
So what you're telling me is, if I like my sanity, do not do that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Fair enough. Your point is taken. Your point is taken, good sir.
Always in black and white. That's hard enough.
Honestly, I like black and white photography more than I do color photography, unless it's my dogs. No, actually, no. Even with my dogs, they get one color photo a year and everything else is black and white. Although it's all digital now, so does it really count as black and white if it's all digital?
I mean, you have to take different pictures anyway, right? Because if you have color in the mix, then, I don't know, there's something red, and that's sort of your focal point, maybe, compared to other stuff. But if it's just black and white, it's just all gray, and you have to find another way to make it interesting. So I think
that
it's
is very
different.
true. That is very true.
I don't know, put a dog in the picture or something.
Well, I've decided I'm going to start adding them more to the YouTube videos.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah. I mean, it's easier to tell people to, subscribe to Patreon for the dog treat fund if they can actually see the dogs that they are buying the treats for.
Yeah.
Although, that being said, filming dogs is a pain in the butt.
Because?
Even the best trained dog does not want to sit there and just stay still for the longest time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, my dogs are amazing. They're very well trained. But, oh my goodness, getting them to stay still for a 40-second session is a pain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like kids. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that's a thing. Surprisingly enough, I have never reviewed a Lamy Safari.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you?
I think I may have to break that trend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, even I have some of them. And they're okay, just that tripod grip is not my thing.
Yeah.
Essentially. I always have a finger on top, basically. And then sort of the corners of that tripod basically, I don't know, cut in the other finger. So it's not perfect.
Well.
But on the other hand, it really is an indestructible pen, more or less, yeah.
I mean, the I like money part of my brain is sitting there going, Lamy Safari would get clicks.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe get this year's special editions, whatever.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Terra Red special edition. So there's the cream, the strawberry, and then the Terra Red.
Yeah, that's last year's, the Terra and the Safari.
Yeah,
right?
I like the Terra Red more than I like the cream and the strawberry.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The cream looks okay, but it just looks unfinished. It looks like they extruded the pen and then just left it as is. Like someone got really lazy at work and just didn't put the dye into the vat. I don't know. It just doesn't call to me, I guess.
Yeah. Are they matte finish?
It looks like they are, at least in the promotional photos I'm looking at from a bunch of places.
Yeah.
I'm definitely seeing more of a matte finish than a gloss finish.
Yeah. Yeah, those I like. I really don't like the glossy ones.
Okay. Of the strawberry and cream, which of those two would you actually buy?
Probably strawberry. Because that cream is like, I don't know, it's a weird color.
I think I know the other problem with the cream. It reminds me too much of my apartment walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the other problem. It's too much beige apartment.
That's true.
Maybe if it had a little bit more color in its life. Yeah, I should probably, if I was going to do one of those, I should probably get this year's limited color or whatever. Decisions. Lots of decisions about pens. Oh, we talked about last time that got completely cut because I lost the audio?
Mm-hmm.
You've done a lot of fish stuff.
Yes. So I now have 7 fish tanks up and running. Yeah, I'm not sure what more to say about it.
7?
7, yes.
7.
How
many gallons of standing water do you have in your house at any given time because of these fish?
So the biggest one is 29. Then maybe 3, let's say 2 that are 20. Then maybe 1 that's 15. And then some smaller ones. So not that much. But I mean, the problem with water is, of course, even a tiny amount of water, if it starts leaking into the floor, it makes a huge mess and goes everywhere. So not sure that's much of a help.
Right.
At least it's in the basement, right? So it's not like it can sort of seep through the ceiling and then start dripping anywhere. I mean, of course, it's bad enough because that's not like, it's sort of in my office and it actually has a floor and it's not like just concrete, but at least underneath is really the concrete basement. So it's not like, I mean, it could, it's going to be a mess once the tanks start leaking. Because sadly, I mean, you have pieces of glass and they're held together with silicone and it never lasts forever, right?
Right.
So it's basically a given that at some point something starts leaking.
Wow.
I just try not to think about it too much. Because actually, speaking of silicone, today I actually replaced some of the silicone in our kitchen, because there's like the panels and sort of the counters. There's you sort of have a seam of silicone so that the water doesn't, I don't know, get in between. And the kitchen is now maybe 7-8 years old, and the silicone has shrunk, and there's like 1 millimeter of space.
Right.
And that's why I keep thinking about the fish tanks now. I think when's that gonna happen?
Yeah, that reminds me that I need to have the apartment maintenance staff go ahead and come through and redo some of the silicone in the bathroom. This complex is just now getting to the 7 or 8 year old mark, and some of the stuff is starting to cycle through of needing to be replaced. Yeah,
and that's the thing. If you own the house, you have to do that stuff yourself or pay for it. So I'd rather do it myself.
Yeah, there's always that. The biggest thing I'm not looking forward to is when I eventually have to have the carpet in my office replaced. Because then I have to move everything out of my office. I say that like I've got a lot of things. I hardly have anything to my name, so that's not that big of a deal.
Yes, compared to other people that would have stuffed the room full of things, it's probably not that bad.
Right, and considering the majority of my things are in a case that has wheels on it, I think I'm fine. First world problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man. So I mean, the last time we talked about the number of fish tanks you only had 5. Where did the other 2 come from?
Did I only have 5?
I think you only had 5.
Could be. Yeah, I mean, sort of for some reason, fish keeping is a big thing in Germany. There's a lot of people. And I live in the suburbs of Munich. And yeah, if you look through the classifieds often enough, then you just see stuff. And someone, I don't know, half an hour drive away from you is giving away a fish tank, or I don't know, once €5 for it or something. And that's also a sort of a fun part of it, to just actually not buy stuff new, but actually find secondhand deals and stuff. So for example, the latest tank I set up, I didn't even pay for it. I just picked it up somewhere and had to clean it up a bit. And then if you want fish, you can also look in the classifieds and you get sort of fun stuff for also not a lot of money.
I'm sorry. My head immediately compared fish collecting to almost like dog breeding. Because if you look through a lot of the, at least where I live, if you look through a lot of the classifieds, it's a lot of the boutique dog breeds that people like to collect around here.
Yeah. I mean, the advantage with fish is, of course, they're smaller and you can even leave them in their tank and go on holiday. It's not like you would do that with a dog, probably.
Yeah, no, that there's all kinds of laws against that. I like having a clean criminal record. Yeah.
Sort of as a pet, they are sort of the most flexible, I would say, in a sense, because you don't have to take them with you. You go on a holiday for a few weeks, you just leave them alone. They're fine in general. So
okay, yeah, I can give you that.
Compared to the 2 guinea pigs that we have, and you always need to find someone who is feeding them and sort of cleaning up after them. And that's a lot more work than the fish.
How are the 2 guinea pigs?
They're fine. They're still pooping day in and out.
Still just the 2 of them?
Still just the 2 of them. I just haven't gotten around to it. Eventually I want to build a second level for them, and then there's more space, and we could think about adding 1 or 2 more. But I don't know. I was thinking about, and I would sort of, it's a whole thing, because I would want to use my dad's tools, but getting him in sort of into that stuff, he sees problems with everything basically, and it's just such an amount of work to have him build stuff for you or help you out that I still haven't gotten I don't know. I will probably go to a hardware store and rent some for a day or two instead, because that's easier than having him give me the tools and then be involved and make it a whole thing.
It took my best friend actually giving me his hand-me-down tools for me to finally have tools of my own.
Yeah. I mean, I'm slowly getting into it because I don't want to pay people to fix stuff in the house, right? So I did the stuff with the silicone. I don't know, fixing outdoor. It's been sort of dragging on the floor and stuff like that. So if you have to, you sort of get used to it. Maybe not to the level that Phil does with he's basically renovating a whole house, but at least the small things I can do by now.
Well, I think we've already established at this point that Phil is not a normal person.
That's true.
I say that, but like the first thing my best friend did when he bought his house was start a renovation process that he's still undergoing 12 years later.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hobby as well, isn't it? I mean, one of our neighbors, he's basically, I mean, the house is new. It's like 7 years old and he's always doing something. And I don't know, building a shed and doing stuff in the garden and doing something in the house. And it's probably more of a hobby than a necessity.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like my friend said, he's like, I didn't need to buy a tile saw, but I've always wanted a tile saw. So renovating the bathroom seemed like a good reason to get one.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't need pen number 65, but I wanted it. At least the pens are a bit smaller, right?
Exactly. I didn't need a 35 millimeter f1.8. I just wanted it, even though I've got a zoom lens that does 24 to 105 f4.0 throughout the entire range.
Yeah, you should have gone for a 1.4, I guess.
Oh man. Okay, so the video I did for the Lamy 2000 is with the f4, the 24 to 105. The video that's coming out on Wednesday for the Iridescent Pearl, which is already out by the time this podcast comes out, that was done with the 50 millimeter f1.8, stepped down the f2.5. The difference in the background is just huge. Like the background is so much smoother at f2.5 than it is at f4, because like just that little extra shallowness in the depth of field just blurs out everything in the background so much better.
Yeah. I mean, it's a logarithmic scale, so there's that. But yeah, I mean that's sort of the attraction of those lenses over zoom lenses. That it's affordable to have something like that.
I just don't know if I want to pay that much for the 35 millimeter.
Yeah, I mean the wider you go, the less of an advantage it's going to be, right? So
that is true. I mean, I think the logical thing is to just stick with the 50 millimeter I have and buy more pens.
Yes.
Always more pens. I'm trying to look back over the stuff that we missed to see if there's anything else. I mean, there's that one heavy topic in bullet point 1 that we keep dancing around. So yeah, I guess we could talk about that. Yeah.
yeah. So this is the Gravitas Sentry pen in copper that I got, and that is like 95 grams. That is a really, really heavy pen, but for some reason it's well balanced, and it's actually not that hard to write with. I guess because there's more weight in the section. So it actually points towards the end where you're writing. So you just need to, I don't know, put it on the paper and barely. I mean, you don't have to press because the pen is so heavy.
I was about to say the pen's doing all the work for you at that point.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, okay, having never held a Gravitas pen at all in my life, like, what's the nearest comparison as far as like the section?
Sort of the thing I would compare to maybe are the Opus 88 pens.
Okay.
It is definitely a wider section. So, I mean, that one is sort of, he has teased he is going to make a section at some point for a number 8 nib. So it's kind of big enough to support that. And it has some kind of knurling, but very fine. Just enough so that you can actually grip it.
I was about to say, you know how I feel about heavy knurling on a pen.
Yeah, because it's very fine, right? It's metal. I think it's steel or something. The section.
Okay.
I don't find. I mean, you notice it a tiny bit, but it's just
not
enough
detrimental to the pen. It actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and the slight flare at the end sort of means you're not gonna, I don't know, grip the nib basically.
Okay, that helps. That does help. So, how much do they run?
I think the Sentry in copper or steel or whatever is just below 100 euros or something. But by now he has all kinds of. I mean, he's sort of mad scientist level of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has this basically the Sentry model. He's made it now in Delrin, and he had made it in some kind of super durable plastic that's see-through. And basically he has this a few other models that he's made in all kinds of metals, and then he has kind of a new designs he's thinking of, and he has this laser etching machine, and he has kind of designs on some of the metal pens he can also buy. He has a lot of fun with that stuff.
Oh boy. Yep, I knew that was coming. I saw you typing. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, I also have the pocket pen. I mean, you can basically think of it as a Kaweco Sport with a number 6 nib in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's round, but it has one flat side, so it doesn't roll away. I mean, it's not as good as a Kaweco Sport, of course, but it's good enough, and it has a number 6 size nibs, which is nice. But from length perspective, I would say it's about the same. And those are even cheaper. Or maybe the metal ones aren't, but the sort of aluminum ones there. I don't know. What's here? 65 euros. So that's not that bad.
Okay, just checking one thing here really quick. Really? That's it for shipping? That shipping price is not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's only 17 euro to ship to the United States. Why am I keeping on filling out this order form?
Yeah, I guess it's just a mailer, right? So my pens came in just some kind of padded envelope because they're sort of made of metal anyway. So how much is what's going to happen there?
Okay, why am I continuing to do this purchase? What am I doing
Which
here?
pen?
I keep punching in numbers. No, do not finish the credit card number. No, do not finish the credit card number. Okay, get off this page before you buy a pen.
Didn't you want to buy a Lamy Safari?
I need to buy a cheap pen. I need to buy a Pilot. I need to buy a Pilot Metropolis. Oh my goodness. That is a cheap pen that I've never done a review on either. Wow.
Yeah, maybe a Kakunu would be nicer.
Oh, yeah. I could do that. I could totally do that. But then I would have a cheap pen lying around my house that I never use.
I don't know. You can. What I found with the Kakunu is that once you put a Con 70 into it, it actually makes it a hefty pen, and the difference is really noticeable. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it actually fits, and then there's some weight to the pen then.
Oh, well, that makes sense. So I guess overall, would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Gravitas?
So I don't know if I would rate any pen at a 10. I don't know, but sort of I would say maybe an 8. The good thing is it's Jova nibs. I really like those. They're fairly wet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really well made pen. I mean, it's all metal parts, and they really the tolerances are really great, and I find them really comfortable. And the crazy stuff he's doing, that's just super cool. And if you follow him on Instagram and sort of watch all the stuff he's thinking of doing, then that's even more dangerous. And I'm sure I will buy more of his pens.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I have a feeling that's gonna happen. Yeah, I have a feeling that's definitely going to happen. So,
and which pen?
The white Delrin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's something about the way that one's done that just calls to me. What I should probably do is the adult thing where I figure out how much my computer audio solution is going to cost me before I buy a pen.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, that seems like the smart idea.
It does.
Yeah, because the computer audio solution could be anywhere from a couple $100 to like almost $1,000, depending on which direction I go.
Yeah, or you just buy the pen and then that's also sorted because you can't spend the money on the expensive stuff.
Well, there is that. There totally is that, but I can't computer with a pen.
That's true.
I mean, I could probably try, but that would be rather difficult to computer with a pen. I think that actually just became the episode title.
A bit late, but there it is.
Hey, better late than never. And let's do this. I promise I will actually get this episode audio out so we can actually keep more topics for next episode.
Sounds good. So that we don't have to repeat one more time. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a mistake I don't want to ever relive again, MK. All right, man. Well, you take it easy. It's always good hearing from you. And
yes.
To the listeners, yes, I will make sure this gets out to you. You're hearing a promise that has obviously been kept because you can hear me saying it. But
exactly.
All right. Well, everyone, we will see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.